Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this week's U-Bass lesson, Steven's going to be teaching you how to play the theme to Star Wars. Now, off the bat, I've got to give Steven props for writing a really cool arrangement. He took the two most iconic melodies from that theme and he put them onto the U-Bass as a solo arrangement, and it just sounds awesome. And I think it's going to be perfect for those of you who fall in the intermediate level. So if that's where you're at, this should be a really good challenge for you. Now let's take a step back. Let's talk a little bit about this lesson, because in this video Steven's going to be teaching you how to play the entire arrangement. But if you want to get the tabs to print off and follow along with, that's going to be available at this link right here, or you can go to the site rockclass101.com and do a search for the song's name. Now also on that page will be the really cool interactive on-screen tab viewer. Now this is a great feature where you can hit play, you can watch the tabs scroll across in real time, you can highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish. Just a great asset in learning this tune that much easier. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Steven to teach you how to play this, and I will catch you at the end of the video.
Hey guys, Steven here, and today we're playing my arrangement of Star Wars on the U-Bass. So first let's talk about the right hand technique. This is basically a fingerstyle technique that you would use on ukulele or guitar, where our thumb will get the E and the A string notes, our pointer finger will get the D string notes, and our middle finger will get the G string notes. And this will apply until the very last measure of the song, where we'll do a little bit of strumming. Alright, so let's jump right in. This song has a pickup measure, so we're going to be playing the pickup measure into the first and second measure. So this is what they sound like. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so that pickup measure is just going to be 3 7th fret notes on the A string. And then we're going to play the open A string with the 7th fret on the D string, followed by 3 open A string notes. Then we're going to play the open A string with the 9th fret on the G string together. And then we're going to play 3 open A strings after that. And I'm just going to talk briefly about this, but the rhythm is triplets. So that pickup measure would start on beat 4, and it would be 4 lit. So we've got 4 lit 1, 2 lit 3, 4 lit is the rhythm. Ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum, ba ba bum. And then measure 2 sounds like this. And basically we're just going to shift up to the 12th fret on the D string, and we're going to play that with the open A string together. Then we're going to play the 11th fret on the D string alone, then the 9th fret by itself as well. And then we're going to play the open A string with the 14th fret on the G string together. Then we're going to play 3 open A string notes. Once again, that's a triplet. Then we're going to play the open A string with the 14th fret on the D string this time. The rhythm for this measure is going to be 1 lit 2, 3 lit 4. So now let's play measures 1 and 2 with the pickup together. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so measures 3 and 4 will sound like this. So the third measure is exactly like the second measure, so let's just play the fourth measure. This is going to start with the 10th fret on the A string with the 12th fret on the D string together. Then we're going to play the 11th fret on the D string by itself, then the 12th fret on the D string. Then we're going to play the 11th fret on the A string with the 9th fret on the D string together. And then we're going to play an open E string, and then we're going to play 3 7th fret notes on the A string. Right, so measures 3 and 4, let's play this together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that takes us back to measure 1. We'll play measures 1, 2, and 3 again, but this time we'll skip over measure 4 and move on to measure 5. So here this is without the pickup. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, measure 5 isn't much different than measure 4. It's basically just leaving off the last two sevens, but let's go over it really quick just in case. So measure 5 starts with a 10th fret on the A string and a 12th fret on the D string together. Then we're going to play the 11th fret on the D string by itself. We're going to play the 12th fret on the D string by itself. Then we're going to play the 11th fret on the A string with the 9th fret on the D string together. Then we're going to play the open E string. And we're going to play the 7th fret on the A string just one time. And that's it for melody A. So why don't we go back to the very beginning with the pickup, and we're going to play through the entire melody A with the repeat. So just to remind you again, that means once we start, we go all the way through measure 4, then we come back to measure 1, we play through measure 3, skip over measure 4 this next time, and then we go into measure 5. So let's play this together. 1, 2, 3. And now we're on to melody B. So now we're on to melody B, which starts at measures 6 and 7. So here's what they sound like. So measure 6 starts with the 5th fret on the A string and the 4th fret on the D string together. Then we have the same two notes by themselves, so 5th fret on the A string, then 4th fret on the D string. Then after that, we're going to play the 5th fret on the A string with the 7th fret on the G string together. Then we're going to play the 6th fret on the G string by itself. Now we've got the 5th fret on the A string with the 4th fret on the G string together. And then we have the 7th fret on the D string by itself. Okay, so that's measure 6. And then measure 7, we'll bar the 2nd fret on the D and the G string together. So we'll play both of those strings at the same time. And then we'll play the 4th fret on the G string. And then here's where we got to kind of reach our pinky out of the position to play the 6th fret. Feel free to let go of the 2nd fret notes in order to get your pinky to reach there. So we've got, see how my pinky came over? I didn't have to leave those fingers down at that point. So feel welcome to do that. But then you're going to go back to the 2nd fret on the D string with the 4th fret on the G string together. And then we're going to play the 4th fret on the D string by itself. And we're going to play the 2nd fret on the D string with the 1st fret on the G string. And then the 2nd fret on the D string by itself. So now let's play measures 6 and 7 together. And we'll play them a little bit slower because this section is a little bit tricky. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're at measures 8 and 9. They sound like this. So measure 8 is exactly like measure 6, so let's skip that for now. Measure 9 starts with the trickiest chord of the piece. It's the C chord going to the E chord. So for this C chord, we're going to be playing the 10th fret on the A string with our middle finger on the fretting hand, the 10th fret on the D string with our ring finger, and then the 9th fret on the G string with our pointer finger. And we're just going to pluck all three of those at the same time. And then we're going to move to the E chord, which is going to be the 9th fret on the D string and the 11th fret on the A string. So for that E chord, you can either use your middle finger or your ring finger for the 11th fret note on the A string. Just whatever is more comfortable for you. And then after that, we have the open E string, and then the 7th fret on the A string. So the hardest part of these two measures is getting from measure 8 into measure 9. So you're going from where basically your pinky is on the 7th fret, and then we have to jump up to this chord, the C chord. So I want you guys to just practice that a little bit, because that's probably the most challenging part of this piece, is just having your hand in this position, playing the 7th fret on the D string with your pinky, and then shifting as quick as you can, as smoothly as you can, to the C chord where you've got the 10th frets and the 9th fret note. Alright, so since transitioning from measure 8 to measure 9 is probably the most challenging part of the piece, let's take this one a little bit slower than normal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we're on to measures 10 and 11. They sound like this. So as you can hear, measure 11 is fairly similar to measure 7. The only difference is the last two notes have an interesting rhythm, so we'll talk about that in a second. Measure 10 is the same as measure 8 and measure 6, so we'll skip over that. So measure 11 is going to start with barring the 2nd fret on the D string and the G string like we did in measure 7. Then we're going to play the 4th fret on the G string by itself. Then the 6th fret on the G string by itself where we reach our pinky over. Then we're going to play the 2nd fret on the D string with the 4th fret on the G string. We're going to play those two notes together. Then we're going to play the 4th fret on the D string by itself. Then we're going to shift back to play the 1st fret on the G string with the 2nd fret on the D string. And then this is where it changes. We're going to play the open E string with our thumb. And then we're going to play the 2nd fret on the D string with our pointer finger. Boom, boom. So the rhythm there is a little bit tricky, so I'm just going to kind of like clap along to it to help you out with that. So measure 11, you would count the rhythm like this. 1 a lit, 2 a lit, 3 a lit, 4 a lit. So what you notice is you're still doing triplets, but you're not playing the middle note on the one that happens after beat 2 as well as the one that happens after beat 4. And I didn't talk about it, but it was kind of similar to that in measure 7, at least for the beat 2 part. So let me play that and kind of count the rhythm as we go, but hopefully that kind of helps a little bit. 1 a lit, 2 a lit, 3 a lit, 4 a lit. So that's measure 11. Now let's go back to measure 10. We'll play measure 10 and 11 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now all we have left of melody B is measures 12 and 13. They're totally new stuff, so it's going to sound like this. So first we have this B minor 7 flat 5 chord, but we're kind of leaving the B out of it. So we're playing an F on the E string. That happens to be the 1st fret on the E string, and we're going to play that with the 2nd fret on the G string together. Then after that, we're basically just running down a scale here. We're going to play the open G string. Then we're going to play the 3rd fret on the D string, the 2nd fret on the D string, the open D string, then the 3rd fret on the A string, then the 2nd fret on the A string, then the open A string. Now we're into measure 13. We're going to play the open E string with the 2nd fret on the D string. And then after that, we're going to play 2 open E string notes together. And then we're going to play the 7th fret on the A string 3 times. So let's talk about the rhythm real quick. Measure 12, the rhythm is triplet, 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 triplet. So basically we're just not playing the middle note of each triplet. So it's kind of like triplet, 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 triplet. So hopefully that helps with that one. And then measure 13, we got 3 quarter notes followed by a triplet. 1, 2, 3, triplet. So let's play measures 12 and 13 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now let's play melody B all the way through together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're back to melody A here at the end, and measures 14 through 17 are exactly like measures 1 through 4, and we just play that 2 times without variation. So I'm just going to play it 1 time for now, and then I'm going to move on to the last measure of the piece after that. So this is measures 14 through 17. We'll really play it 2 times, but for now I'm just going to play it once. And then we just do that again. And then the final measure is going to sound like this. This will be measure 18. So for measure 18, we're going to play the open A string and the 7th fret on the D string at the same time, just plucking a normal way. And then we're going to play this A5 chord, where basically we're going to play the open A string with the 14th fret on the D string and the 14th fret on the G string. And if this is hard for you to reach, because some U basses have a body here where others have a cutaway, if yours doesn't have a cutaway, you might find it easier to lift your thumb up to play this last part. I don't. I kind of just stretch my thumb out over here, but that might make it easier for you. And so you hold these 14th fret notes down on the D string and the G string, and then we're going to use our fingernail to strum all 3 of those strings, the A string, the D string, and the G string. And I kind of use the thumb to mute the E string while I do that so I don't accidentally hit it. And then once you get done with those 4 hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, I would say flatten your palm out and touch all the strings lightly to stop them from ringing out. So now let's go back to measure 14. We're going to play from measure 14 to measure 17, go back to measure 14 and play to measure 17 again, and then we're going to play measure 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright guys, that's it for Star Wars. Thank y'all so much for playing this today, and may the Force be with you.
Alright guys, so this week's U-bass lesson was a lot of fun. The theme to Star Wars, one of those iconic melodies that everyone knows right off the bat, which makes this tune a really fun one to whip out when someone says, hey, play me a song. If you've got your U-bass on you and you don't know what to play, this is kind of a great go-to melody. Now, I do want to give you a friendly reminder before we wrap up that if you do want to get the tabs to print off and keep for your records, that was available at this link right here. Or you can go to the site rockclass101.com and do a search for the song's name. Now also on that page was the really cool interactive on-screen tab here, so you can literally hit play, watch that tab scroll across in real time, highlight bars, loop sections, slow it down, all that fun jazz. So guys, I hope you enjoyed learning this arrangement, and we will catch you in the next one. Take care.